We have made it to Friday. Hey everybody, it is Friday, the 14th day of December, 2018. I'm Dan Kuntz and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live here from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel. Thanks for starting your day with us. And we hope you end your day with us. We got high school basketball tonight. Davis Pirates are in town to take on the Wenatchee Panthers. We'll have both the girls and the boys doubleheaders tonight, 5:30 for the girls, about 7:30 for the boys. Both games live right here on the NCW Life channel with Eric Grandstrom courtside. And in between the two games, we'll give you our evening news with Grant Olson. It's a jam-packed show for you today. You notice the Wenatchee Wild puck on my desk. Arch Ecker will be joining us in the second half of the program. We went down and visited Arch yesterday at the Town Toyota Center to preview tonight's game with the Salmon Arms Silverbacks in town. He does teddy bear toss tonight. And also we'll just talk about all things Wild as they have turned around after a struggling start to begin the season. They are the smoking hottiness team. Is that even a phrase? In the British Columbia Hockey League. All things Wild hockey coming your way with Arch Ecker in the back half of this program. Your weather forecast, active, wet, but probably rain more than snow. That's coming up. When we get to the weather forecast, we have the pass report. Passes are much easier to travel than they were 24 hours ago. We also have a lot of sports. Going to preview the weekend in prep sports. That's coming up as well. We have the obscure holiday birthdays. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion today in history and a whole bunch more. Oh, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's in its very last couple of hours, not too late. All of that coming up on this Friday. So without further ado, let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras, and we're starting out with Jump Off Ridge this morning. So the Stimmel Basin is to your left. Down there is Malaga, is Three Lakes, and off to the left, and about in the middle of your shot, is the Wenatchee Valley proper with those low-hanging clouds and fog obscuring the valley. That is a spectacular view from Jump Off Ridge. By the way, do not jump off Ridge. It's a long way down, but what an incredible view that is. That's up above the cloud cover, because the clouds and the fog, it's mostly fog really, not necessarily clouds, is really low right now after a spectacular Thursday. 45 is what we got to yesterday. Normally our high this time of the year, middle of December, is right at the freezing mark. That would be our daily high, would be 32. It was 45 yesterday. Very mild day indeed, and the temperature is going to be above normal when we get to the forecast. Camera 2 is the Arrondo Rock camera pointing down river towards the Wenatchee Valley. Rocky Reach Dam is on your far right, and you can also see some of the traffic. The Wenatchee Valley is way off in the distance. Turtle Rock dominating your view there. So this is the time of year when we get that thick fog that we have to go with some of those lower cameras just to see anything. Good morning, Turtle Rock. Camera number 3, according to Megan, who by the way is in control, that's a live shot of something. That's just fog. I don't know what that is, but that's we know what that is. That's billy goat. They don't have any fog at all up there. That's up in the Pateros area, so we're traveling up about 70 miles or so. A little bit further than that, Pateros at the bottom of your screen, Brewster right smack dab in the middle of your screen. And I see some lights to the left. That could be maybe Twisp, I want to say, with the Methow Valley to your left. And of course, Mount Kalispell right smack dab in the middle of your screen from Billy Goat. An absolutely phenomenal view there. Maybe the best part of this program is when we do our cameras, courtesy of Localtel's, excuse me, Sky-Fi high-speed wireless network. All right, 4 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. Your forecast, excuse me, looks something like that. Not as warm as it was yesterday. We're going to see clouds for the most part. Slight chance of some light snow. The fog is going to be pretty dense for most of the morning. Burns off a little bit, but we're not going to see the sun today. It's taking the day off. High today of about 39 degrees. Only about a 30% chance of precipitation. And that's the same chance tonight, about a 30% chance of precipitation. Could get a little light rain or snow. I wouldn't bet on it. It's going to be a little breezy tonight too. By the way, northwest wind gusting around 21 miles an hour. So the weather is active, but it's, all things considered, relatively mild. Saturday, back to partly sunny skies and a high of 42. No real rain or snow in the forecast on Saturday. Saturday night, we're going to start talking about a little bit of rain-snow mix, about a 70% chance of precipitation Saturday night. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. Sunday, you're going to start out with a little bit of snow, then it switches over to rain, and it's going to rain pretty good most of the day Sunday and into Sunday night. And again, Look at all of these afternoon highs. These are well above normal. 39, 42, 40, 44, 46. Are you kidding me? Near record high temperatures possible on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Again, any kind of precipitation we get is going to be in the form of rain. Most of the rain will be Saturday night spilling into Sunday. It should rain most of the day Sunday and on into Monday. Very warm temperatures. Obviously, with temperatures this warm, whatever snow we get's not going to stick around very long. That's your forecast. Let's take you up to the major mountain passes. And for the first time in a long time, you can go over I-90 without any real problems at all. There are no advisories or restrictions at this time on Snoqualmie Pass. That's a live shot of I-90. Roadways bare and wet. Overcast skies. Nothing's coming down. The plows have gotten ahead of the game. No advisories, no restrictions on I-90. I'd like that. Stevens Pass does have a traction tire advisory. The roadway is bare and wet for the most part. Here's the big thing about Stevens. At 8 o'clock this morning, they're going to close Stevens Pass in both directions for about an hour for avalanche control activities. They're going to stop you at milepost 58 eastbound, milepost 64 westbound, which is actually the summit of Stevens Pass. And they can do this because there's no precipitation coming down. And they need to do this because the avalanche dangers are very high up in the Cascades. So again, from 8 o'clock to around 9 o'clock, Stevens Pass will be closed in both directions for about a 6-mile stretch while they loosen up the snow, let it come down, and plow it out of the way. And finally, Blewett Pass. No advisories, no restrictions. Roadway is mostly bare and wet. So if you're heading over to the Puget Sound area, your best bet today, right now, would be Blewett and then Snoqualmie because you got no problems at all. There's no real precipitation at all expected in the mountain passes, maybe a half an inch of snow, that's it. Couple of inches possible tonight, and I'm being conservative here. No snow at all on Saturday. Saturday night, maybe an inch, that's it. Sunday, they're going to get some snow. We talk about rain in the Wenatchee Valley and a lot of it on Sunday. That's going to be coming down in the form of snow in the mountain passes, about 3 to 5 inches possible, an additional couple of inches on Sunday night. So right now, the forecast looks pretty benign for the mountain passes until we get to Sunday. And once again, Stevens Pass, they're going to close it for about an hour to do avalanche control work at 8 o'clock this morning until 9 o'clock this morning. It is 7 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
9 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, 34 degrees with some fairly dense fog in the Wenatchee Valley. The fog burns off by the middle of the day, but the clouds are going to be dominating our weather. High today of 39. Once again, very mild. Here's what's making headlines on this Friday morning. Recent heavy snowfall on top of light snow from early December in the Cascades has created dangerous avalanche conditions in a number of areas. Scott Schell with the Northwest Avalanche Center says the first monitoring of the season revealed that instability.
As you may notice, we've gotten a lot of snow the last few days. Many of our sites have had 2 to 3 feet of snow, and that was just enough snow to begin avalanche forecasting for the season. So we began issuing avalanche forecasts this Monday, and we'll do so throughout the rest of the year and into the spring. And just a quick update on what's happening up there in the mountains. We've received a ton of snow, we've had significant winds, and overall we have a generally weak snowpack. So from now to the next few days, it's probably not the best time to be traveling in avalanche terrain. But the best thing to do before you head out is to go to the NWAC site, so nwac.us, Go to your zone, take a look at what's happening, and use that to make a good plan.
Matt Promomo was with the Avalanche Center, and he shows exactly what they're dealing with in the Stevens Pass area.
We've got 2 or 3 feet in the past few days. All this snow is sitting on top of a layer of weak, sugary snow from the first 10 days in December. We had surface hoar and facets form. It's still really weak, but now we've got a big fat slab on top. Traveling in this country, we were getting a few collapses and whoops, which is a telltale sign of instability. We're doing tests and finding that this layer is, if it does fail, it's going to go big.
Once again, that video was taken in the Stevens Pass area, and if you're just joining us, they're going to be closing Stevens Pass for about a 6-mile stretch right at the summit for avalanche control work. Both directions of Stevens will be closed from 8 o'clock till about 9 o'clock this morning. A black bear named Cinder that was badly burned in the 2014 Carlton Complex fire and was released back into the forest following a year-long rehabilitation is dead. The bear's remains were discovered with the hide and meat taken. Fish and Wildlife bear specialist Rich Beausoleil told the Methow Valley News that Cinder's GPS radio collar had stopped working back in October. He said it appears that the bear was killed last year by a hunter who cut the collar off and left it at the site. Cinder would have been 5 years old. She became a symbol of the Methow Valley's recovery from the devastating Carlton Complex fire after she was found severely burned by an Okanagan County property owner. Beausoleil says she was in good health when they checked her in her last. That was February of last year. News of Cinder the bear's death came as a shock to Malcolm Keithley, who authored a children's book that chronicled the injured Bruins' recovery. Keithley says he has stayed in touch with the Fish and Wildlife's ongoing tracking of the bear. Says he was hoping anyway, to see Cinder's first litter of cubs.
We were expecting to hear news from Rich Beausoleil at the Fish and Wildlife Department that she had cubs this year, but instead we found the very disheartening news that she had been killed.
Keithley's book is called Cinder the Bear, and it's an illustrated children's book, and it's available to purchase on the Apple Bookstore. Governor Jay Inslee has proposed a $650 million plan to address mental health as part of a budget that he unveiled on Tuesday. The plan includes building more community treatment centers where people can get psychiatric help closer to home. Inslee says it will shift the state away from centralized state hospitals, such as Western State Hospital, which has been plagued with problems. The governor says he wants to create more community-based centers, such as the new Parkside Treatment Center in Wenatchee, which the governor toured back in October.
And this will be something that will be both a promise and a challenge, because we'll have to figure out how to finance this. It takes dollars to build these facilities. We have to find out a way to finance that. But I do think there's a good start of bipartisan discussions where both parties can commit to really advancing mental health in our state. All of our families are subject to this.
Inslee's plan would double the amount of beds available to patients in community centers in the coming years. His plan also includes a new behavioral health teaching hospital at the University of Washington, which would train more caregivers and provide more treatment options for patients. By a vote of 569 to 47, the United States House of Representatives passed the 2018 Farm Bill. This happened on Wednesday morning. The conference report includes language making hops eligible for crop insurance, and it directs the Federal Crop Insurance Corporation Board to streamline the process for developing hop insurance policies. Speaking of the floor of the House of Representatives, 4th District Representative Dan Newhouse said farmers need action sooner rather than later.
I can go back to Okanagan County and tell my constituents in Pateros that we have strengthened market access programs and provided strong resources to open new sources for exporting across the globe. I can tell farmers in Grant County that we have protected crop insurance and made several key improvements, including for whole farm revenue coverage for specialty crop producers. I can tell dairy producers in Yakima County that we have improved the dairy safety net for large, mid-sized, and small dairies. Farmers from East Wenatchee will hear from me that this Farm Bill invests in critical cost share and incentive-based programs to help farm families improve our soil, water, and other natural resources.
The legislation now heads to President Trump, who is expected to sign that bill into law. Fewer homes are selling in the Wenatchee area, and there are more to choose from, according to the latest real estate snapshot released by Pacific Appraisal Associates. But the prices for those homes is higher than a year ago. There were 92 homes sold in November. That's down 9% from November of last year. Meanwhile, the number of listings was up 31% over last year. The median price for a home, $325,955. That's up from $290,000 in 2017, but down from $328,700 back in October. There were 183 homes on the market in November, down from 218 in October. Now, because of the recent snow, Normic grooming operations have begun at Echo Ridge Nordic Ski Area. That's 10 miles north of Chelan. And the ski area officially opened yesterday. Skiers will encounter typical early season conditions, thin spots on some trail sections. All trailheads in the Echo Ridge Nordic Ski Area are plowed and open for parking. The trail system provides over 24 miles of trails for skate and classic skiing and 9 miles of snowshoe trails, primarily along open ridgetops with incredible views of the Lake Chelan Valley and the surrounding mountain ranges. Today's opening is 8 days sooner than last year's opening day of December 22nd. And hey, finally, it's Friday. What's happening this weekend when you're out and about on the second to last weekend before the holidays? The weekend events with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. Columbia Choral presents Christmas Around the World this Friday at 7:30 p.m. More than 70 singers will be performing at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets online or at the door. Las Posadas is this Saturday from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. This event will feature music from Mariachi Wenatchee, Posada recreation by children, a piñata, a sing-along, and tamales and refreshments, and more. Join the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center for holiday teas at the beautifully restored historic Wells House this Saturday and Sunday. These will be the first teas held at the Wells House since its major renovation. The house will be decorated in festive vintage early 1990s style for the season. Don your hats and gloves, bring your friends, and take your afternoon tea at this light luncheon. The Wells House is located off of 9th Street at the end of Nelson on the Wenatchee Valley College campus. And finally, if you're in the mood to watch a Christmas classic, come watch It's a Wonderful Life at the Numerica Performing Arts Center this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are only $3. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Thank you very much, Megan. It is 18 minutes after the hour. I have a couple more items to touch on before we make our transition. We've been talking about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, of course, since it began right after the Thanksgiving holiday. This is it. We're running out of time. This is the last couple of days. Two things I want to point out. There's going to be a toy drive collection event this afternoon at Hooked On Toys from 4 to 7 o'clock. It's a great time to go, 4 to 7 o'clock. Get your weekend started the right way by popping into Hooked On Toys. It's going to be a big party. Pick up that new unwrapped gift for a needy child in our area and just leave it right there at Hooked On Toys. They have a ginormous tree right inside the front door, and it has the kids' age and the gender and what they want. You can pick up a specific gift. It's a great deal. And then tomorrow, our good friends at KKRV, they've been fantastic media partners throughout the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, thanks to our friends at KKRV. They're going to be doing a live radio remote broadcast at Hooked On Toys from 10 to 1 on Saturday. And Saturday is the last day to collect the toys. We'll put them all together on Sunday, and all of the nonprofits who are going to be spreading the joy of Christmas to the various needy families will take it from there. The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive has 2 days left. Again, 4 to 7 o'clock with a big collection event at Hooked On Toys, and then tomorrow with KKRV and their live remote from 10 to 1, the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. And once again, thanks to our friends at Les Schwab for stepping up to the plate. Boy, they really do know how to pay it forward. 19 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's do sports. The prep weekend basketball schedule got off to an early start last night. A double dip in Cashmere. To the Les Schwab prep scoreboard we go. There you see the Cashmere girls, no problems with the Okanagan girls, 82-21. But boy, what a Donnybrook with the boys, 177 total points in the end. Cashmere came out victorious, 93-84. Coming up tonight on the prep basketball schedule, there you go. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour, we're going to have the Davis Pirates and the Wenatchee Panthers girls game live right here. Eric Granstrom, courtsides, 5:45. The pregame begins at 5:30 right after the evening news. Also tonight, Eastmont plays at West Valley, OMAC hosting Cascade. This is all girls we're talking about. Chelan will host Brewster, Manson and Liberty Bell, and the Shockers of Waterville are in Soap Lake. Boys basketball schedule is pretty much the same, just later on in the evening. 7:15 for Cascade and OMAC. Chelan and Brewster are playing a retro night game at the old Chelan Community Gym. That's cool. 7:30 tonight. That's the same time, by the way, for our second game of the doubleheader when Wenatchee hosts Davis. Eastmont plays at West Valley. Liberty Bell, Manson, and of course Waterville Mansfield boys again to Soap Lake. Turning back to the Les Schwab prep scoreboard on the wrestling mats last night. In OMAC knocked off Chelan 48-37. Cascade topped Okanagan 54-21. Chelan took care of Okanagan 42-24, and Cascade down to OMAC 46-26. Coming up in wrestling today and tomorrow, a full slate going on. It is Cashmere's Invitational. That's happening tomorrow. And in preparation for that, a couple of West Side teams are in the neighborhood tonight. Hoquiam wrestles at Cashmere at 6 o'clock. Then they head up the valley to take on Cascade at 7. That's interesting. The Kodiaks, meanwhile, are wrestling against Mount Baker at 6. Then the Mountaineers will head down the Highway 2 and wave at the Hoquiam bus on their way to wrestle Cashmere at 7. That's a unique scheduling. By the way, the Bulldogs host the 17-team Cashmere Invite. It begins tomorrow morning at 10. By the way, Eastmont is on the road. We're still talking wrestling here at South Kitsap. It's the Hammerhead Invitational. Today and tomorrow, Wenatchee is in Yakima for the Ike Classic. Les Schwab Prep Bowling Scoreboard. From yesterday, Eastmont traveled to Sunnyside, blanked at the Grizzlies 4-0. High scorers for the Wildcats. Sky Wilson with a 236, Dylan Thomas at 213, Alicia Hastings at 202, Samantha Hines a 185 and a 170. Wenatchee, no problems in their first double dual swim meet of the season. As you see there, they easily dispatched the Davis Pirates and the Eisenhower Cadets. High school girls basketball schedule for tomorrow. Antioch hosts Riverside Christian. Wenatchee plays at Sunnyside. They're good, Sunnyside is. Eastmont will host Moses Lake tomorrow. Grant Olson will have your play-by-play, by the way. We'll have that at 5:30 on the NCAA Life Channel. And in boys basketball, again, right here on the NCAA Life Channel, Moses Lake and Eastmont get going at 7:30 tomorrow night. Wenatchee Wild have the salmon arm silverbacks. BCHL hockey tonight at the Town Toyota Center. Teddy Bear Toss Night, sponsored by Fred Meyer. Bring a teddy bear to the game to benefit youth in our community after the Wild scores their first goal. The Bears go on the ice. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch more with Arch Ecker in the back half of the program. And we can't forget about the football. Eastern Washington Eagles are in the FCS semifinals tomorrow on the red carpet. They Maine Black Bears, 11 a.m. on ESPN2. And, of course, the Seahawks will be in Santa Clara, California Sunday to take on San Francisco, 105 on Fox. If they win, they clinch a playoff spot. We like that. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday morning, 24 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today is Lost and Found Day. The second Friday in December is always Lost and Found Day. We all lose things in life. Losing material things is nothing compared to losing people. In fact, if losing material things, and if you just can't find it after a while, you stop looking altogether. Never give up on things that you lost. You don't think you're ever going to see it again. Strange things happened. I lost a wallet in St. Petersburg, Florida in 1974, and when they remodeled the restaurant 20 years later, they found my wallet and mailed it to me. You just never know. And if you're prone to losing things, and I am, today might be a good day to start figuring out how not to lose things. Lost and Found Day today, 25 minutes after the hour. It is today in history. Happy birthday, Alabama. That's the Alabama state flag. Alabama became the 22nd U.S. state 199 years ago today, December 14th, 1819. Alabama has 41 official emblems and symbols. That's a lot, but they don't have an official nickname. Believe it or not, they need to get on that. We talked about lost and found. If you've ever gone traveling on an airline and you lost your luggage and you never got it back, ooh, that doesn't look too good. It's probably in Scottsboro, Alabama. Scottsboro, Alabama has a bunch of unclaimed baggage. They have a store that has nothing but unclaimed baggage in Scottsboro, Alabama. That you see there is the very first group ever to make it to the South Pole, and they did it 107 years ago. Roald Amundsen's team, which consisted of himself, Olaf Bachach, Helmer Hansen, Svel Hassel, and Oskar Wissling, became the first people ever to visit the true South Pole. And I'm quoting now by Roald Amundsen, "It's cold." Happened in this state 107 years ago. Speaking of places that are really cold, 46 years ago today, man left the moon and have not been back since. Harrison Schmitt and Eugene Cernan were the last people to walk on the moon. It was Apollo 17. They did a few things. They laid a plaque down. Harrison Schmitt got into the little capsule to take him back up. And then Eugene Cernan followed him. Eugene Cernan goes down in history as the last person to walk on the moon. We left 46 years ago, and we haven't been back since. Really no reason to. We know everything about the moon there is to know. And finally, some birthdays. At 26 minutes after the hour, Aunt Bee. Frances Bavier, of course, known as Aunt Bee on the Andy Griffith Show for a long, long time, was born in the state in 1902. In contrast to her character, Aunt Bee was a very lovable character, but Frances Bavier in real life was easily offended on the set. The production staff kind of had to walk on eggshells around Frances Bavier. Andy Griffith admitted later on that, yeah, they clashed, and Frances Bavier clashed with most of the production staff and the actors on the show. But shortly before she passed away, Frances Bavier, in a very heartwarming moment, phoned up Andy Griffith and she apologized for being difficult. Frances Bavier, born in the state in 1902. Spike Jones, Cocktails for Two, De Fielder's Face, the Hawaiian War Chant, William Tell Overture. Spike Jones is Murder in the Classics, but geez, that music was funny. Spike Jones was born in this state in 1911. Go home and play a Spike Jones record and you'll know what I'm talking about. And finally, Charlie Rich, the American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. I love this guy. Born in the state in 1932. Behind Closed Doors, the most beautiful girl in the world. Life has its little ups and downs. One of the greatest country meets blues albums ever of all time is the fabulous Charlie Rich. Get yourself a copy. We missed the Silver Fox, 28 minutes after the hour. Everybody's entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. His advice today is don't be stupid. Good stuff from Mike. And then my conversation that we taped yesterday with Arch Ecker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. They got a home game tonight with Teddy Bear Toss. All that and more still to be had on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Paprika mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, how we men perceive our behaviors with our wives can have a huge effect, not only on our relationships, but on how we end up being the man who we want to be. Now, working with a couple recently, the wife was weeping in rage due to her husband's insensitive behavior. Now, he looked at me and he said, "I'm not doing anything wrong. What am I supposed to do? Be a wimp and just do everything she tells me to do?" I told him, "Hey, stop being stupid and face the fact that you're insisting on doing what you want to do is being hurtful to a person who you claim to love, a woman who we promised to protect and cherish." I said, "Maybe you should be willing to let go of what you think your rights are and start showing some love and respect to your wife." Now, that's hardly being a wimp, my friend. That's being a real man. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. The man sitting to my immediate left is no stranger to this program. We don't get to see him as often as we'd like to. He's the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. He is Arch Ecker, one of my favorite people. How you doing, bud?
You know, I'm doing A-OK.
Good. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. We have not visited, believe it or not, I went back and looked at our archives. I have not been down here to visit with you and talk Wild hockey since October. And boy, has this team changed from October to mid-December. It's like, this is a whole new team. Now, I know when they first get going, Arch, they have to figure out their roles to play. They're kind of feeling their oats, getting to know the coaching staff for some of the new players. They struggled early. Not anymore. This team is playing the best hockey in the league right now.
Well, that's very true. First off, I'd just like to note that your lack of attention will be reflected in your Christmas bonus. But you know, the team really has picked up down the stretch here, and that's really kind of no surprise. We knew that coming in we had a young team, and that it's going to take a little while to put things together. and you know that the other teams in the division, it's a very proud division, and you knew the other teams were going to come in a little bit stronger, and they have. And it just took our team a little bit just to sort of kind of find their legs. And even early on, even though we weren't getting the results we wanted, it wasn't that the team was playing particularly badly. They just, they were coming up short in a few games, and it was just part of the growth process. And right now, and it's not that much different. I mean, hockey's like football or anything else. It's a game of inches, and right now, we're working hard. We're creating opportunities. We're getting a couple bounces that we weren't getting earlier, and we're stringing some wins together. And knock on wood, we just kind of keep things going in the right direction, and we should be fine.
Is the Interior Division, which by the way has 7 teams, the other 2 divisions only have 5, is the Interior Division by default the best division of the 3 in the BCHL, you think?
Well, it's not only the best division in the BCHL, it's one of the best divisions in all of Canada across the 10 leagues. There's no doubt about that. Consistently year after year, when you start looking at guys that are plucked into the NHL and whatnot, I mean, they're coming more out of the Interior Division than anywhere else across Canada. So it's really not, any grandstanding or patting ourselves on the back. I mean, the Interior Division was the top division before we got into it, and now we just happen to be a part of it, and we've been fortunate to have some success along the way. But yeah, I mean, the programs, look at them. Penticton is kind of the gold standard in the BCHL. Vernon has been historically a very strong program as well. Merritt's been around for 45 years. And Salmon Arm and West Kelowna won the Royal Bank Cup a couple years ago. And Trail has obviously been around for 2,226 years and counting. And so, this is it's just a division that is very well entrenched, and and they've all sort of got, I guess you could say, a like mindset. I think they just sort of operate on the same wavelength, and and that's geared towards success, and success comes from running an honest operation that's geared towards helping your players advance, and players recognize that, and then the quality players want to play for those programs, and it just snowballs, and that's why this division has been as successful as it has.
And this team has become a third period team. I've seen it. I listened to the game, the Pink at the Rink game, a week ago Friday, and it was like the third period came. It's like, okay, we own this now. This is our period.
Well, I'll tell you, the coaches did not design that. Because they would much rather have us be a first period team and then kind of try to coast through. I mean, it's a lot nicer to win games 5-2 than 2-1 or 3-2, and come from behind in the third period. That can be a little frantic, but the guys, what it is, and it's interesting, it's a trait that we've seen in years past, that the guys don't panic. We can get in pretty much any situation, and there is a belief on the bench and in the locker room when they step out that, we may be down, but we are definitely not out. We've got the firepower to get this done. We just have to stay focused, stay the course, and not get, and just not get distracted. What happens is sometimes guys try to do too much. You've got a system that's geared toward a team approach to the game. And sometimes you get down, maybe you're down 3-1, 4-1, and then all of a sudden the guys who are, quote unquote, maybe the leaders or the stars or whatnot, or the guys that feel the pressure, they start to think, we're down, I need to do something special. I'm going to take this myself. What happens when you do that, then everything else breaks down, right? And this bunch they've learned through that, staying together and trusting the system, trusting the process, it pays off. I mean, it's there for a reason. It's not just lip service from coaches to give you something to do. They're trying to lead you in the right direction, and the guys are finding out that, yeah, you know what, that's the way to do it, and they're reaping the rewards.
As RJ mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Penticton has been the gold standard in the British Columbia Hockey League for quite some time. I think they're our biggest rivals. And then last weekend, with a home and home, we took it to them in 2 very exciting games, kind of 2 games that didn't quite mirror each other. An amazing come-from-behind victory on Pink at the Rink night, and then they went up to the South Okanagan Event Center and took an early lead, and then they held on to the very end. We'll start out with highlights from Friday night in Pink at the Rink, and as we roll highlights, talk about Friday night's comeback.
Well, you know, Friday, there's a lot going on with the Pink at the Rink event, and it started a week prior with everybody coming out and painting the ice, and it's obviously a very emotional week for some folks. And you get into the game, and all of a sudden, you know, we played actually really well the first 12 minutes or so, and next thing you know, just a couple of quick lapses, and you're down 2-0, and then Penticton kind of shut us down in the second period, but then in the third, we still had that belief. Like you said, it was like, you know, if we can just get one, I think if we get one, we're going to be okay, because we're getting some chances, but they're just not falling for us. And once that first one popped in, the second one was almost, you know, we knew it was coming. We sensed it. But then the third one was that thing of beauty when Matt Dorsey, and we've seen him do it more than once this year, and I talked about it on the post game with Clarkie, but it's kind of like, he gets that crazy strength like a mom gets when her baby's in the car and it's on fire and she can lift up a whole car and throw it aside, you know? I mean, that's like Dorsey's, like his eyes roll back in his head and he just turns into this superhuman. And he takes off, he took the puck from the corner right over here and went end to end and just powered right through everybody, undressed the whole team and put us on top 3-2. And
then the floodgates opened after that.
Yeah, you know, well, at that point, I mean, the icing was on the cake, the writing was on the wall, you know, horses out of the barn, whatever you want to say. But, you know, I think Penticton knew it. They were like, really? Yeah. And, you know, and they were a little distracted. There had been, you know, Dorsey had checked someone earlier in the game, and they were pretty fired up about that. And, you know, so I think they were a little distracted. And then the fact that he scored that goal, you know, that's what got them all ramped up. And, you know, I think that served to distract them the following night, because we showed up there in Penticton, and next thing you know, we're the ones that are popping off to a 3-0 lead in the first period. You know, in the last 10 minutes of Friday and the first 10 minutes of Saturday, in that 20-minute span, we scored 8 goals. It was unbelievable. So then we jumped out to a 3-0 lead. But Penticton, again, quality club, right? They started worming their way back. They got it was their teddy bear toss night, actually, and they got the goal late in the first period, and they scored one again in the second, and then all of a sudden, bam, now we're tied in the third, and like, oh geez, but our guys they stayed the course, and you know, Brandon Cook got the game-winning goal, but it was interesting because it was a pretty fortuitous hop. You know, a lot of times you get hops like that at home. You don't always get them on the road like this, but he took a shot from the left point, and it went off their defenseman's stick, and fluttered right up over the goalie's shoulder, kind of hit him in the ear and went in. And, you know, we'll take it, a 4-3 win. And, you know, that's 8 in a row now for the Wild, and that moves us into first place.
Before we talk about Salmon Arm, who's in town tonight, and then, of course, next week they have a road game on Wednesday, and then 2 games against the Vernon Vipers. We talk about Penticton. They travel well. They always usually come down here with a Rooter bus and sit right behind their bench and cheer on the Vs. I noticed when I saw the highlights on Saturday night up in Penticton, looked like the Wild had a pretty good contingent of Howlers there representing the Valley and cheering on our team up there.
I was impressed. I was really impressed. You know, I knew that there were a handful of people that were going. A bunch of them had talked about it, you know, on social media or had mentioned it in passing. But, boy, I looked down, and all of a sudden there was a whole lot of Wild jerseys down, especially right behind the net. And so, yeah, a great turnout. You know, the Wild fans are, you know, they're a loyal bunch, you know, and you know, that trek up to Penticton, it's not that bad. I mean, it's only 180 miles, and, you know, the border crossing is really not that big a deal, especially when you go in a car. I mean, when you go in a bus, it's a little different because, you know, they obviously need to check the bus and everybody gets off and all of that. You go through in your car, and usually you just show them your ID, your passport, and answer a couple questions, and you move on. So folks have figured out that, you know what, it's a nice drive. It's a gorgeous drive, very beautiful heading up that way. And it's a great facility, and, you know, and you get treated well there, and it's not that long to get back. So, yeah, our fans, you know, they've longed for an opportunity like that because for so many years, I mean, where were our games? Fairbanks, you know, Topeka, Kansas, Dallas. I mean, ain't nobody driving there. You ain't driving there. You wasn't going to drive there.
And the team picks up on that. They love it when they take to the visitors' ice and they have a contingent of fans there that made the trip.
Oh, they
just to
know
cheer
it.
them on. They know it.
They definitely, they hear it. I mean, they may not hear every specific word or chant or yell or whatever, but they can sense when that energy's in the building, and our fans aren't shy about being loud. I mean, they're loud here. People talk about it. The other teams that come here, they say, well, it's a very daunting place to come in here because of the volume. Just our fans make a lot of noise here, and they make it a tough place to go. And when we pack them up and send them out on the road, boy, I'll tell you, they do the same thing. That's just part of how they show their love is vocally, and the guys definitely feel it.
Salmon Arm is in town tonight. The Silverbacks have 35 points on the year. They're currently 5th in the 7-team interior division. Talk a little bit about the Silverbacks tonight.
Well, Salmon Arm, they're an interesting study. As you said, they're 3 games above 500. We've played them twice this year in their barn, and in their barn, when we first played them, they were practically untouchable. They were 10-1 at home, and for whatever reason, I mean, we've had a pretty easy time with them in their building twice. But then again, you know what? On any given night, you don't overlook anyone because, if you look at the standings, I mean, Surrey and Cowichan Valley they've really been the doormats of the league this year. Everybody's been beating up on them, but on any given night, we've seen them rise up and knock off top teams. So, I mean, it's certainly would be foolish to overlook Salmon Arm. They've come into this building last year, beat us a couple times. I mean, and as hard as it is to win here, Salmon Arm's the team that did it. We beat Penticton all 3 times here last year, but Salmon Arm came in and beat us twice. Merritt beat us here.
Yeah, go figure.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but on paper, it should be one way, but you know what? They don't play games on paper. They never have. I've looked. They don't play them on paper. They play them out there on that ice sheet, and if the guys don't show up ready, then it'll be a rough night. But you know what? This team has they've just continued to learn, and it's not that they're there yet. They've had some success, but they're still in the process of understanding, the depth of what it takes to truly be prepared to compete at this level. For so long, see, every one of these players, they were all the superstars on their high school teams and midget teams, and they all scored 300 goals and all got the girl and all of that stuff, right? But then you get up to this level, and now all of a sudden you've kind of reset the playing field, and everybody was a star. Everybody's good. And you can't just show up to the rink and have everybody bow to your will like it used to be. So now, it's back to, hey, you get what you work for. And sometimes there's a little bit of a learning curve in that area for the younger guys. When they understand what it takes to compete in the BCHL. And as they've been learning that is part of what has lent to the success that we've had.
Before we talk about Vernon, which is next weekend, the 21st and the 22nd, what's the promotion tonight? What can fans look forward to tonight?
Teddy bear toss, man. Bears will fly. That's what it's all about. Everybody does it across the league and across junior hockey, across both countries. I mean, it's a huge annual event for everyone, but man, I tell you, it's a lot of fun. We love it, and it's such a spectacle watching them bears go flying. And it's funny, it's not just bears. I mean, people throw Angry Birds and whatever else they can get their hands on. And and it's just a lot of fun. So when the Wild score their first goal, for those that don't know, what happens is, so Fred Meyer sponsors this event, by the way. And fans come, they bring a stuffed animal. And then when the Wild score their first goal, then they're free to chuck them over the glass onto the ice. And it's one of the only times in the year that you get to throw things on the ice. Because there's been times when I'm up there and I see the ref make a stupid call, and I want to throw my water bottle at him so bad. I'm like, you idiot. But no. Anyway, so I'll have a teddy bear up there too. I'm going to see if I can make it. That's a long, quite a chuck.
That's quite a chuck from the crow's nest up there.
You know what? If it doesn't make it, somebody down in the front row usually helps. And so then all the animals are collected for Operation Santa Claus, and then they get distributed in the community. So it's a great thing that benefits people that really need that little ray of sunshine in their life. So hats off to Operation Santa Claus and Fred.
It's a really cool event, and one of the things I know is I was here for last year's teddy bear toss to expedite everything. The players on both teams helped scoop up the teddy bears and throw them in the back of the pickup truck just so they could get back to playing hockey. They don't just skate over to the bench and wait. They kind of, let's give them a hand. It also keeps them warm, I suppose, during the break.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've seen it happen, but and last year was interesting because it was the quickest teddy bear toss ever. Well, in our history, 23 seconds, first shift, AJ Vanderbeck. So, and then that comes back, and you go back to the very first teddy bear toss we ever did, which was in our inaugural season. And because of the way, remember the scheduling with the building and everything, like all of December, we didn't have a home game. Well, we didn't have a game, home or away. We didn't play at all. So they had to schedule some exhibition games. We had the NORPAC All-Stars, and we said, well, we'll use that exhibition game. We'll do our teddy bear toss. Well, we went through the game, and nobody scored.
Nobody scored.
So, so our fans are going, wait, how's this supposed to work again?
Well, they waited till the end of the game, didn't they?
No, but wait, if we had scored, then, yeah. So, yeah, the first year, that's what happened, but we made up for it. And last year, 23 seconds in. So come early. Don't show up, 15 minutes in, because you might be sitting there carrying your teddy bear back home with you. Or you drop it in the barrel on the way out.
Kudos to Fred Meyer, by the way, for sponsoring that. Wednesday the 19th, they take the long trip up to Trail to take on the Smoke Eaters, and then the 21st and 22nd next Friday and Saturday, Vernon Vipers are in town. The promotion on the 21st first, please.
On Friday night, we're doing an ugly sweater party, which Dan is going to go through, and he's got like 14 ugly sweaters and one that's actually socially acceptable. So he's going to be modeling some of those ugly sweaters for us. That's Friday.
Saturday, the 22nd, again, Vernon in town.
That's Dan's other ugly sweater party.
That's ugly pants night. Is that white out? Is that?
That is white out.
Okay.
That's where Dan's going to wear his white pants and his ugly sweater. And then, no, we're not handing out liquid paper. It's,
okay.
We just want people to wear white, and the guys obviously wear the white jerseys, and as much white as we can get in the stands, and wave white towels and the whole thing, and just get a kind of a white atmosphere. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So that's what's happening on Saturday against Vernon. Then the guys get the holiday break, and they get to go home and kiss mom and have some ham and turkey and all that good stuff. So.
Wenatchee Wild Hockey, I promise you we won't make this like an every other month event, Arch. You deserve better than that. So
that's what you said in October.
I did, didn't I? I promise. We'll come back and see you in early January, all right, and preview the second half of the season. How's that sound?
Trust me, he says.
Arch Ecker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Once again, Salmon Arm in town tonight for the Teddy Bear Toss. They're on the road next Wednesday, and then they're back in town for the 21st and the 22nd, the last two games before the Christmas holiday with the Vernon Vipers. All of these games, if I'm correct, are all interior division opponents, so they all count, but these count a little bit more when you're playing a team in your own division. If you can't make it to the Town Theater Center tonight, you can always listen to Arch on News Radio 560 KPQ. You can watch it on Hockey TV, but the place to be is here. Any parting words before I cut you loose, my friend?
No, I just want to thank you for coming down to visit, and remind folks that really the best way to enjoy Wenatchee Wild hockey is in person. Love to invite you to come down. If you haven't been, stop in and check out a game. Call the office, ask about group tickets. That's the cheapest way to go, 888-7825, and we'd love to see you down here.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Arch Ecker, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. We'll be right back.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Collins Fashions has your lifestyle in mind. Casual to special occasions, head-to-toe styling. foundations to shoes, jewelry, scarves, handbags, awesome gifts too. Denim brands from Liverpool, Not Your Daughter's Jeans, French dressing, all fits and sizes. Slacks from Joseph Ribkoff, Renoir, Tribal, and Elliott Lauren, easy care and flattering. Stylish sweaters from Icelandic, Curio, and Tribal. Great selection of cashmere sweaters and scarves too. We always have you in mind at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. That's a live shot from our Arundel Rock camera looking south towards the Wenatchee Valley. The sun's been up for just about 10, 12 minutes now. And I say that in a relative term. Yes, the sun is up and we now have daylight, but the sun is going to be taking the day off and then coming back on Saturday. Let's take a look at your forecast one more time from the National Weather Service. Yesterday's high of 45 degrees, and I said it was going to be much warmer than normal, but holy cow, 45? Our normal high this time of the year is 32, and as you can see across the board all the way to Thursday of next week, well above normal high temperatures. The weather is active, but it's mild, if that makes sense. That's where we're going to have all of these warm temperatures. Just a quick little cold front brings a little bit of light rain possible tonight and a little bit of light snow in the mountains possible tonight. I wouldn't bet on it. For today, it's just going to be cloudy and some patchy fog, which burns off later on today. We're going to top off at about 39 degrees. 31 for the overnight low tonight. A little windy at times tonight. Very little precipitation in the forecast. Saturday looks really good. If you're out and about on Saturday, do your thing with partly sunny skies and a high near 42. Saturday night, things get interesting. We have about a 70% chance of a rain-snow mix. It'll be mostly rain until we get to the wee small hours of Sunday morning. Then it switches over to snow for a couple of hours, and then it goes back to rain. And by Sunday noon, it's going to be raining pretty good, as a matter of fact. And regardless of how much snow we do get Saturday night into Sunday, it's not sticking around because you can tell with the rain, we'll top off at 40 degrees on Sunday. And pretty heavy rain right into Sunday night, 36 for the overnight low. This is more of a fall than winter kind of a forecast. Of course, it's still fall, I guess, technically. Partly sunny and a high near 44 on Monday. All of these temperatures well above normal. And again, precipitation mostly in the form of rain, especially Sunday afternoon into Sunday night. We are going to get wet. Let's take you up to the major mountain passes right now. Things are really good, so much better than they were 24 hours ago. I-90, you got no problems at all. I-90 is bare and wet. Overcast skies, no advisories, no restrictions, no issues on Snoqualmie Pass. Can't get much better than that. Stevens Pass, quick heads up, in about a minute, they're going to shut down Stevens Pass both directions. Eastbound traffic is going to be stopped at milepost 58, that's scenic. Westbound traffic is going to be stopped right at the summit of Stevens Pass at milepost 64. They're doing avalanche control work on Stevens Pass. And of course, this is always a bit of a guessing game. They're expecting it to last about an hour from 8 o'clock until about 9 o'clock, but it all depends on how much snow comes down on the highway and how much they have to clear off. They're expecting Stevens to be closed for about an hour starting at 8 o'clock, which is just about now. Finally, Blewett Pass, again, no problems at all. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is mostly bare and wet. Very little precipitation at all in the major mountain passes until we get to Sunday, and then they're going to get some snow, as I mentioned before, with some significant rain Sunday in the Wenatchee Valley. They're expecting some snow, anywhere of 3 to 5 inches of snow in the mountain passes on Sunday. Don't forget the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. A quick reminder, at Hooked on Toys today from 4 to 7, they're having a collection event. Big party. perfect time to go. Start your weekend right, going to Hooked on Toys from 4 to 7 today and pick up that new unwrapped gift for that kid who needs it. And then our friends at KKRV will be there doing a live radio remote from 10 to 1 on Saturday. One more reminder, we have high school basketball tonight. The girls and the boys in doubleheader action at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium taking on the Davis Pirates. That's tonight. And then we'll be on the east side of the river for the Wildcats and the Moses Lake Chiefs tomorrow night. Everybody, have yourself a fantastic weekend. Wherever you go this weekend, take us along. We're portable. See you Monday. Bye-bye.